Hello, Kris here, Telly, episode 51. And this week's video is going to be an end of year, a 2023 reflective, as such from a Green Sabre perspective. So, sorry to disappoint the vinyl community with the fact that there'll be no records on display, no this, no that. It's just going to be a reflective on the year for Green Sabre, because this is the Green Sabre channel after all. So yeah, I figured coming up to the end of the year, with no further gigs planned, well, certainly none that I'm aware of, like I say, it's going to have to be something especially fucking decent to get us gigging now. But we've had, we did have a couple of offers for gigs in December, but for a couple of us, it gets really difficult work-wise and stuff as it gets to sort of pinch points at the end of the year. It's quite hard for a couple of us to get time off at this time of year. So yeah, it proves problematic. So we are all done for the year gig wise. So I figured, right, let's do the fucking the retrospective for the year, the review of 2023, if you will, because from a Green Sabre perspective, it's been a fucking phenomenal year. It really has. I mean, I was saying to the lads the other night, I said, barring us having like some kind of record contract at this point, or a distribution deal or something like that, barring that, I honestly don't see how this year could have gone much better than it has. It's been amazing. So I've made a fucking ton of notes, because there's lots that lots I don't want to forget, lots I need to remember, lots of bands that I need to try and remember as well. So yeah, 2023, so I suppose, where do I start? The beginning of the year is probably a good point, but yeah, I suppose so. Let's start with the back end of 2022. Now, I did do a sort of a review of the year last year, so I probably should have gone back over that and taken some notes, but I didn't. But long story short, we finished off 2022 with a gig at the Bobbin in Lancaster as support to Thanes and Thralls. Thanes and Thralls, if you don't know, folk rock, folk metal band. It's Kev from Skyclad, Kev Ridley. It's his side project. My good friend Ian is bass player. I've worked with Ian in various guises over the years as such. Like, so yeah, he's bass player for Thanes and Thralls. So yeah, it was a nice way to finish the year. I remember it fucking snowed, a bit like what it's doing outside. Well, not currently, but recently. It put a ton of snow down, so it was different. It was sort of quiet-ish night as such, like, but it was a really, really good gig and a good way to finish 2022 for us. A good hometowner, and yeah, great to support Thanes and Thralls. So a really, really good way to finish 2022. And all we had planned at that stage for 2023 was a gig of support to Workshed, which was going to be at the Bobbin again in Lancaster in February. Was it like 25th of February, something like that? And that's all we had planned for 2023. In our wildest imaginings, I don't think we quite thought we were going to have the year that we have had as Green Sabre. But at that point, we were thinking we had that one gig in the bank in Lancaster in February with Workshed, which didn't turn out to be Workshed, but I'll get to that point shortly. And then the hope was that we could maybe get a gig out of fucking Lancaster would be nice. I mean, I know we started, the first gig we ever did was Blackpool at the Waterloo. But then since then, we'd had a gig in Lancaster at the pub as support to Callous, the gig with Thanes and Thralls there at the back end of 2022, and then the next gig that we had in February, Lancaster again. So really, all we hoped, we thought it'd be nice to get a couple of gigs, maybe Bradford way, maybe Yorkshire way, Manchester if we're lucky, something like that. Just a couple of out-of-towners at slightly higher profile gigs. Well, our dreams came true tenfold as such. Well, eightfold we did. But I'll get into that. So yeah, really, we didn't have much more aspirations apart from just trying to leave a wider footprint in various places. Yeah, so enrolled 2023. Sadly, Workshed folded. Adam, who's Adam Leon of Workshed, ex-Cathedral, ex-Acid Rain, of course, was really ace about it, but yeah, just things, basically he couldn't continue the Workshed thing at that point, so yeah, I was gutted in a sense because it would have been a bit of a fanboy moment for me with that, because Adam's a massive influence on my doom metal stylings. So I was a bit gutted about that. But light bulb moment, I thought, well, Workshed at that time was like 2/3 of Iron Void. So I thought, I'll just offer Iron Void the gig and see if they'll take it, which they did. So the gig in February was still on, and we supported Iron Void instead. Again, the thing with Lancaster is it's very difficult to gauge what your turnout's going to be like, and it was another reasonably disappointing turnout, I have to say. But it was still a decent gig, and it was a supporting Iron Void. They had a cracking gig and all that, and we made some good friendships there with that band. So, and as I will allude to later in this video, played again with them, and I suspect there'll be a few more gigs coming over the coming months and years as such with Iron Void, because they're great chaps. So yeah, off to a great start. Yeah, like I said, I think it was 25th of February 2023 this year. And then really after that, we had nothing else planned, but we're kind of beavering away in the background. And yeah, long story short and such like that, my good friend Lee from Oak and Throne, shout out Lee, vouched for us to get us on at a gig that kind of changed everything for us, I'll be honest. And without that, so yeah, I owe a lot to Lee and Oak and Throne for vouching for us to get us on this gig. And our next gig that happened, we managed to get the opening slot on the From the Crypt lineup, which Rich Hellfire from Gods of Hellfire. Rich runs annually now. There's another one coming this year, 2024. So that's going to be, again, at Night Train in Bradford, and this was at Night Train in Bradford. I think it was the 9th of April. It was over the Easter weekend anyway. And we were really fortunate, again, because Lee vouched for us, and because Rich, thank you, Rich, as well, took a punt on us. We got the opening slot on that. And that, like I just said before, that sort of changed everything for us. I mean, obviously, we had to have a decent gig. It's all well and good getting on at these lineups, but you've then got to prove that you know what you're doing. And thankfully, we had a cracking show that day. So not a bad turnout. Like I say, first on, so it was like the middle of the afternoon, like, was it 3:30 or 4 o'clock, somewhere around that neck of the woods. And actually, no, it might have been a bit later than that, because I seem to remember that we went on around the time I checked my phone, and we got absolutely fucking spanked by Crystal Palace that weekend, did Leeds United, I should say. But anyway, yeah. I found that out just before I went on. Regardless of that, yeah, we went on, had a great show, and really, in all honesty, because of that, we have never looked back since that gig. That gig catapulted us from trying to get any old fucking thing we could do, just get a foothold on some kind of scene, play Bradford, play Yorkshire. That catapulted us. From that gig, we, within a few days, got offered another gig in Bradford at the back end of June. We got the Lizard Fest gig. Thank you, Mushy, for putting us on. Mushy that runs the Lizard Fest, they're ace. If you've not been to some, you must get to them. He runs a couple each year. I think there's another one coming up, which I can't make, sadly. But yeah, I think there's another one to finish the year out. I might do like 2 or 3 a year, but yeah, Mushy thankfully put us on. So yeah, after that Crypt gig, which went brilliantly, great bands, we went ace. And I'll thank all the bands that we've played with at the end of this video. But yeah, that went ace. And the next gig that came up was, like I say, that was April. The next thing we did was at the Lizard Fest. I think it was June the 3rd, something like that. And that was at the Darklands Brewery in Halifax. Great little venue, that, actually. Yeah, little brewery. They did My Dying Bride's beer, did Darklands. So they've got some ace glasses. They've got the Ghost of Orion glasses. Yeah, fantastic. So you go get there just for the glasses. But yeah, we played June the 3rd at Lizard Fest. I think we opened that as well, and it was, I distinctly remember it was fucking baking. It was cracking the tiles, red hot. So yeah, doom in searing heat was a new experience. But again, we went down ace there, and Hamish and Kath from Godthrim, shout out Hamish and Kath, they came to see us. So it was ace talking to them. And yeah, playing in front of your sort of peers as such, like, it's Oak and Throne were there to come and see us, the Son of Ball lads and so on. And yeah, just a great turnout. And that's one thing that I will say about this Bradford, the West Yorkshire scene. They're amazing. They're proper. They come out and see you. And, yeah, you don't thought... They're not like, I don't want to keep bashing the Lancaster scene because there's some really great people in it. Just not enough of you, sadly. But it is, obviously, Lancaster's a small place, so... But, yeah, they stalwarts of the Lancaster scene. You know who you are, and you're ace, all of you. It's just there's not enough of you, and there's too many people in the Lancaster scene that talk a good game, but never fucking to... I've never seen any time that we've played live there, so, yeah. If we're not your cup of tea, then fair enough, but support the local music scene, please, and so on. But anyway, I digress. The Bradford scene, on the other hand, are fucking amazing. They're out to a man every fucking gig near enough, and just brilliant. And we were welcomed almost straight away. I mean, like I say, I think it helped that we had a really, really good gig on that first night, and I think we did turn some heads. So, yeah. Yeah, it was just going swimmingly at that point. Lizardfest was another good case in point where it went ace. The next gig that we had was the one that we got, another one that we got sort of off the back of the Crypt gig, which was at the back end of June. We supported Kill the Witch and Voidlurker at the Underground in Bradford, which was a really good gig for us. We had a good gig, but again, it was, I don't know if it got advertised overly well enough. It was a fairly poor turnout, sadly, was that. But I suppose end of month, it was twatting it down, I remember as well. One of them really sort of balmy summer nights where it's just hammering it down. Yeah, and when I got to the venue was late opening. We were waiting on someone coming to open the door for us. And so there was no one. It was like a ghost town in the centre of Bradford. It just got a bad vibe about it. But like I say, we played all right and we went down cool. And we were lucky enough that the bulk of the people were in when we went on. And they kind of dissipated after that, sadly. But it was still a good gig and it was a great experience. And the Underground's a great little venue, actually. I'd like to play there again. So by the end of June 2023, not only had we done a gig in Bradford and West Yorkshire that was kind of one of the aims of, we'd done four gigs at that point by the end of June, which for us is, we'd only done 3 the year before, to put it into context. In the total, the entirety of it, we'd done 4 already at this point. Bobbing in Lancaster in February, Crypt at Night Train in Bradford in the April, Dartland Brewery at Lizardfest start of June, Underground Bradford, Sporting Kill the Witch end of June. And it wasn't long after that we got another gig offer, and finally, Manchester. We got offered a gig to play at the Pear Hat as support to Frog Lord and Jeremiah AD, and I believe Acid Trip opened up. And what? That was a great little venue, actually, the Pear Hat. It's a kind of like a sort of basement dungeon kind of setup in my sort of northern quarterway. It's not far from Soup, if you know where that is. It's not far from Affleck's, if you know where that is. But yeah, decent little venue. It's the downstairs venue to what I believe is Atma at Manchester. So it's Atma's the upstairs. The Pear Hat is the downstairs. But great little venue, and I'd like to play there again. The sound guy was tip-top and all, good man. Jeremiah AD were ace. Frog Lord were brilliant. You've got to catch them live if you do. Acid Trip opened up, they were ace. And yeah, another really, really good night. The sound on the stage was just mush, and it was really fucking difficult to hear anything really largely. But again, we've been on point. We've had good gigs. We've played well. And again, I think mainly because you're constantly trying to get that foothold, so you've constantly got to be at it. So yeah, and another one in the bank. Yeah, that was a bank holiday weekend of August. I went on holiday the day after to Scarborough for a few days. But yeah, brilliant. So yeah, we ended the summer on a high. Around that point, I can't remember exactly. It might have been before that Manchester gig, to be fair. But we did a photo shoot, of which you will see the first incarnations on one of them's on the intro piece to the videos now. But also, these are the ones that are going to be on the recording that's happening in January. But I'll get to that at the end of the year as such. So, yeah, I did a photo shoot in the spectacular woods around a place called Silverdale, which is sort of north of Morecambe, on the way up to the Lake District. Yeah, dark woodlands. Found a great-looking tree in the middle of there. Rossi found it on a recce walking one weekend. And, yeah, so we thought, right, we'll do a photo shoot there. Managed to get out, do the photo shoot. Really good. started twatting it down then as well, I think. But it all helped with the doomy, moody atmos. So yeah. Again, that were another 5th gig in the bank. And yeah, it was all going great guns. Slowed up a little bit then, but gigs were getting organised at that point. We'd been asked by Iron Void, who said that they were going to get us on at another gig of theirs, and duly honoured that. We were lucky enough to play the 25th anniversary gig of Iron Void at the Vortex in Wakefield. And that was the 2nd weekend of November, and November turned out to be quite the fucking month for us for gigs. And not only gigs, great gigs, really good ones. So I seem to remember at that point that the only one that we had booked in the calendar at that point was supposed to be supporting Gods of Hellfire at the Blind Pig in Salisbury Bridge. That were on the 18th, the middle weekend of November 18th, and that were all we had booked at that point. Actually, that came off the back of the Crypt gig as well. Rich from Gods of Hellfire quickly wanted to rebook us to support him for that. So yeah, that had been on the cards for a while. At that, then the Iron Void gig come in, so that was the weekend before that. And then the Godthram gig came in, and that was the weekend that finished November. So we had 3 consecutive Saturdays, which is like a world tour for me, quite frankly. So yeah, busy. So November turned into a brilliant month. I mean, I've gone to Damnation Festival the first weekend of November with Aki and Lee from Oaken Throne, and crucially from my side project with those guys, Crow's Blood. Shout out Aki, shout out Lee. More on that towards the end of the video. So yeah, we've been to Damnation that first weekend. Then the second weekend we had the Iron Void gig for the 25th anniversary. Sabbath Wolf opened up, then we were on. Master Charger played that night, and Iron Void finished. Had a good night. Not a bad turnout. Could have been better, but again, it's hard to gauge these things these days. But yeah, another good gig for us. And more connections, more networking done, more gigs come out of it. Hoping to support Iron Void again, obviously. I think we'll support them moving forward on a few more occasions. Master Charger, would love to play with them again. So made some good connections with those guys. Sabbath Wolf, did actually get an offer from them to play another one, but it was a weekend that we couldn't do, sadly. So that was a bit gutting, but we will gig with those guys again. So yeah, really great night. The weekend after, the Blind Pig in Salisbury Bridge, and that were a fucking cracking night, was that. Great little venue. Yeah, it's a pub downstairs, but it's set up as a venue upstairs. Got this spiral staircase up to the venue upstairs, and you're wedged in a corner, not a massive stage, but a great vibe, and it was a tip-top night. Good turnout. It was, packed out up top in there. Note from Huddersfield opened up. They were really good, and a great bunch of fellas. Note, sludgy, doomy, heavy, riffy, brilliance. Yeah, they were ace then. So we had quite the act to follow with that. Went on after them. We went down ace. We only had half hour, so that's a 3-song set for us. And I still think we ran over. I think it were about 32, 33 minutes as it turned out was that. But yeah, we went down a storm and it was a really good night. Hamish and Kath from Godthram again came out, which was great to see them, having a good night with them. Scoot from seminal hardcore band Doom. And also he was in Valenfire for a bit, wasn't he, as was Hamish. He was out, I was having a good night with Scoot. Brilliant chat. There was a couple of other of the Doom guys. Certainly one other of the Doom guys was there as well, which I didn't get a chance to natter to. Great turnout. Rich Hellfire was there because, of course, this was a gig we were supposed to support Gods of Hellfire. But Rich got an injury that had been niggling with him for a few months, so they had to cancel all the gigs, which was gutting. It would have been nice to gig with them, but we'll do it again in the future, Rich, don't worry. So Oaken Throne replaced them, our good friends Oaken Throne, and yeah, but Rich was there, Mushy was there, like I say, Hamish and Kath were there, Scoot were there. There were loads of faces, probably loads that I've forgotten to mention. If I have, my sincere apologies. But it was a top night, was that, and a great little venue. Really enjoyed that. And we finished in November, the following weekend, at the Greyston Unity in Halifax as support to Godthram. And that was a tremendous night for several reasons for me personally, and for us as a band personally as well. Well, within the, you know what I mean, anyway. But yeah, great little venue. I don't think notorious for metal, but it was a good night, so I hope that there's more metal bands start playing that. Good little venue. You fancy craft ales upstairs? I don't think they're the cheapest, but these things never are they? But yeah, again, another basement venue, cosy, but great setup. Sound guys did a great job as well. I don't think they were used to doing stuff of us and Godthram's ilk. But I'll tell you what, hats off to them. Like I say, it was a bit muddy on stage, but they often are. But out front, it sounded amazing, I have to say. Yeah, so top job there. And it was a great night. It's all, Godthram are such good people. They're ace, all of them, to a man and lady. So it was ace sharing the stage with them. And here's to many, many more, hopefully. So, yeah, should be good. But on the night, electric. Again, we played really well. Hamish and Godthram brought most of the kit, so we had to bring next to fuck all gear-wise, just turn up with guitars and pedals, and away we went. And had a good night. Went down really well. Aaron from My Dying Bride was there. I was having a natter with Aaron, which was amazing. And I just sort of like, it was a real who's who was there. Tuds from Paradise Lost, the original drummer, on the lineups right up to and including Icon. He was out. I know Brian was nattering to him quite a bit because Brian used to drum tech for Skyclad back in the day, and Skyclad supported Paradise Lost on a couple of tours, if I remember rightly. So, yeah, that was like a meeting of the... haven't seen each other in ages, so they had a good catch-up. And it was ace seeing Tuds. I mean, Tuds has played on some proper legendary, Gothic, Icon, Shades of God, Lost Paradise. That's all Tuds on the drums. So, he's a legend, in my eyes as such, like, as was Aaron, and it was great. Aaron's a great bloke, having a proper good natter with him. There were other good stuff on Jan from Oakenthron, singer of Oakenthron, got up and sang We Are the Dead with Godthram. It was a top night and a great way to finish our gigs for the year. That was 8 gigs that we'd done, which is fucking... It doesn't sound like a lot to those of you out there that like, oh, some bands do 8 gigs in a week and blah, blah and all that. Yeah, I'm fucking sure they do, but we don't. 8 gigs in a year for us is a lot. That's really good going for us, so I'm really happy. And not only that, they were all good. They were all supporting great bands, and yeah, honestly, to say that we just wanted to kind of make a footprint in this scene over here, and the way that the scene has welcomed us, is just, I can't thank everyone enough. They're all amazing, all of them. And here's to many more gigs with this scene. It's been fantastic. And yeah, so that was November. We'd had the offer of 3 gigs in December, all of which we've had to turn down, sadly, because we just were unable. Like I say, as it gets towards Christmas now, it gets a little difficult for us to commit, sadly. So November's about as late as we can gig a lot of the time with Green Sabre. But yeah, so an absolutely amazing year, and I honestly can't say much more than that, apart from it's just been amazing. What have we got planned for 2024? Well, we've already got 2 gigs in the bank. The first of which is supporting the awesome Dawn of Elysium. We're going to be supporting them at the Tap, I believe, in Bradford at the, I think, is it the Good Friday? March 29th, anyway, 2024. With support to Dawn of Elysium, so that's in the bank already. So, yeah, looking forward to that. And cannot wait. May the 11th, Ruination Festival. We're on at that. Fucking Battalions are playing. The Sea Bastard are playing. Dystopian Future. Oh, fuck, I've forgotten the name. Anyway, there's some great bands. Elder Druid, is it? Already announced. And we're on at that, and I can't wait. It's going to be brilliant. There's going to be more announcements soon as well. But yeah, it was... it kicked off last year. Oakenthron played it. Yeah, amongst many others. But yeah, we're really happy to get on at that. It's going to be amazing. So that's 2 gigs already in the bank. There is a third one potentially, not announced yet, but that might, I'm pretty sure that will be happening. So yeah, it's all go again. I mean, I think we can afford to be a little more selective now with gigs as well. So Hopefully it's not going to be quite as manic as next year. And of course, the main thing that we've got coming in 2024 is recording. Second week of January, we start recording that. Very excited. It's going to be 3 songs, probably with an intro bit, so 4 songs, give or take. For the new EP that'll be out later, hopefully around March, April time, 2024, but I'll keep you posted. So that is Green Sabre's plans. From a personal perspective, I've also got plans afoot with Crow's Blood, our black and death metal project with Lee and Aki from Oakenthrone. That's coming along great. We're hoping to get the recording finished by the end of this year, in the next couple of weeks, ideally, in actual fact. Then we're going to get it out there. I can't wait for you to hear it. It's like atmospheric, black and death. There's, I think you're going to enjoy it. Technically quite, and a lot higher tempo as well. So, really, really looking forward to that. I also have a third thing that I'm not going to say anything about right now. However, it is likely to be announced towards the end of this week. I can't believe I've sat on this long and not blurted it all out, because I am very, very excited about this next thing that I've got coming. I can't wait to tell you all about it. Like I said, there's going to be a reveal video coming soon, I think. So watch this space, but I'll share it with you all. So 2024, not only from a Green Sabre perspective, but from my perspective, looks like it's going to be an absolute fucking barnstormer. I cannot wait to get going. I can't wait for you to hear Crow's Blood. I can't wait for you to hear the new Green Sabre stuff. I can't wait for you to hear my announcement of what else I've got planned moving forward. So, yeah, it's going to be amazing. So watch this space. Right, I've wrapped that up reasonably quickly for me, I have to say. So, that's it. That was the year that was for Green Sabre. I've had a fucking whale of a time in 2023. It's been busy, it's been manic, it's been stressful, but it's been brilliant. I don't want to change it for the world. Yeah, I'd maybe have us signed up to Rise Above by now, or Profound Law, or someone like that. You know, someone that would put our stuff out, but might not be far off. You never know. But yeah, we'll wait and see on that front. But like I say, barring that, this year could not have gone much better. We've gone down brilliantly wherever we've played. I've had some of my idols come to see us live. I've been lucky enough to chat to them. And yeah, it's been brilliant. This scene over here in Yorkshire is second to none. I feel so privileged to be part of it with all these great people, so many great bands, and that's who I was going to thank. All the bands that we've played with this year. So let's start right from the off. Iron Void, top chaps, brilliant band. And I love playing with them. Here's to many more. Black Falcon, Bang Bang Firecracker, Son of Boar, Sound of Origin, Joel and Sound of Origin, great bands, all of them, and great guys. Oakenthrone, of course, who we've got as a band, and me personally with Lee and with Aki and with Jan and Martin and Paul. I've got good friends with all of them. They're just brilliant, and so I feel very privileged to be part of that as well. I think that was all the bands that played at the Crypt. Then there was the Lizard Fest, where I can't remember who we played with, quite frankly. There were loads of bands on. Not metal-y type stuff. A lot of it sort of punky type things. Were Brigantes on at that one? I can't remember. But yeah, all the bands that we played with at Lizard Fest. Sorry that I've forgotten who you were. Then there was Kill the Witch. There was Void Lurker. Who, again, both great bands, great people. Then we played with Froglord, Acid Trip, Jeremiah AD. We got a Froglord we got on with brilliantly, but we got on really, really well with the Jeremiah AD lads, and I'd love to gig with those guys again. Then came November. Sabbath Wolf, I've already mentioned Iron Void. Sabbath Wolf are ace, great blokes. Master Charger, brilliant band, good lads. Then Oakenthrone again, Lifer, who were great, Note, who were great, and Godthrim, of course, who were amazing to play with. I mean, that Distortions is one of my albums of the year. So, sorry, more fucking deliveries. This is the pitfall of doing videos near the Christmas period. Post is very fucking busy. Yeah, Godfrey, of course. Ace, it was Distortions is one of my albums of 2023. I fucking love it. It's such a good record. So to share the stage with them and then hear that get played live, yeah, that was quite a big thing for me. So yeah, it's just been amazing. If I've missed anyone off, I'm really, really sorry. But yeah, 2023 has been very good for us. And let's hope that 2024 is even better. Although I think it may struggle, quite frankly, the way that 2023 went. So, yeah, that was the year that was for us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for my few subscribers. I'm almost back at 160. Well, not that I've been at 160. I'm almost up at 160 again, so a couple more. So do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Next week's video might be... Actually, next week's going to be really fucking busy. Next week might not happen. But I might need to... Anyway, I need to do albums of the year. So the next video that comes, whenever I do it, is going to be 2023's albums of the year. So stay posted. I've got a top fucking... I think I've whittled it down to a top 25, but I've had to be fucking ruthless. So, because there's been a lot of great stuff. But watch this space. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Toodle pip.